Here is something uncomfortable that most modern parenting advice will not tell you. A lot of what we now call kindness is quietly raising a generation of children who cannot cope. Not because parents are doing anything cruel. The opposite. Because parents are doing things that feel loving, feel gentle, feel like good parenting in the moment, and are accidentally teaching their children that effort is optional, that comfort is the goal, and that someone else will always handle the hard part. I am not here to make you feel guilty. I am here to show you 5 comfortable beliefs that sound caring on the surface, and the harder truth underneath each one. Because the research is clear, and it is not always what we want to hear. The habits a child builds today become the character they carry for life, and some of the kindest sounding choices we make are building the wrong ones, especially the 4th one. Most parents get that one completely backwards. Okay, now let's go through all 5. The first comfortable belief: let them sleep. They're growing. It sounds caring. The weekend arrives, the child wants to stay in bed until 11, and what is the harm? They work hard at school. They are growing. Let them rest. Here is the harder truth. There is a difference between rest and the slow erosion of rhythm. Children who grow up with no consistent wake time, who sleep half the morning away whenever they are allowed to, are not just resting more. They are losing the daily structure that trains the body and mind to be active, alert, and ready to engage with the world. The issue is not the extra hour of sleep. The issue is what an unstructured morning teaches the nervous system over time. That the day begins whenever you feel like beginning it. That there is no rhythm to rise to. That activity is something that happens after you have run out of reasons to stay still. A child does not need military discipline, but they do need a reasonably consistent rhythm, a sense that the day has a beginning they participate in rather than drift into. Because the habit of rising and engaging, built in childhood, becomes the capacity for self-directed action in adulthood. And the absence of it becomes the struggle so many adults describe, the inability to get started, to build momentum, to meet the day, rather than be dragged into it. The truth underneath the comfortable belief: you are not protecting their rest. You may be eroding their rhythm. The second comfortable belief: it's easier if I just clean it up myself. And it is easier. That part is completely true. When your child scatters toys across the floor, when their room becomes chaos, when the mess is everywhere, it is genuinely faster, calmer, and less exhausting to simply handle it yourself. But here is what that daily choice is teaching. Every time you clean up a mess your child made, you are completing a sentence in their developing understanding of the world. The sentence is, when I create a problem, someone else resolves it. Repeated across hundreds of small moments, that sentence becomes belief, and the belief becomes a personality. The child who never cleans up after themselves does not simply have an untidy room. They are slowly absorbing the idea that consequences are someone else's responsibility, that the gap between making a mess and the mess being gone is filled by another person, automatically, without cost to them. Responsibility is not a value you can explain to a child in a conversation. It is a habit built through small daily acts of accountability. And one of the earliest and simplest is this: you made it, you put it back. The truth underneath the comfortable belief: the easier choice today builds the harder adult tomorrow. The child who cleans up their own mess is learning something far bigger than tidiness. They are learning that their actions belong to them. The third comfortable belief: I don't want to pressure them about school. This one comes from a genuinely good place. We have all seen what excessive academic pressure does to a child. We do not want to be the parent who turns homework into a battlefield, who makes love feel conditional on grades, who crushes a child under expectation. So we step back, we let them manage it. We tell ourselves we are respecting their independence. But there is a difference between pressure and accountability, and in trying to avoid the first, many parents accidentally abandon the second. Accountability is not pressure. Accountability is checking that the assignment got done. It is correcting careless work, not with anger but with the simple expectation that work is finished properly. It is teaching a child to complete what they start, which is one of the most transferable skills a human being can develop. Children who are held accountable academically, not pressured, not punished, but consistently expected to follow through, tend to become more focused, more disciplined, and more serious about the things that matter to them. Not because the homework itself was so important, because the habit of finishing what you start, built early, becomes the backbone of every meaningful thing they will attempt as adults. The truth underneath the comfortable belief: there is a world of difference between pressuring a child and expecting something of them. The first can harm. The second is one of the most loving things you can do. The fourth comfortable belief: the screen keeps them happy and occupied. This is the one most parents get backwards, and it is the most important on this list. The belief is understandable. A screen is quiet. A screen is easy. A screen keeps a child occupied while you handle everything else a day demands. And the child is happy, visibly, immediately happy, which feels like evidence that you are doing something right. Here is the harder truth, and the research on this is significant. A study following children found that early excessive screen exposure sets in motion what researchers called a developmental cascade, contributing to emotional dysregulation, poorer academic outcomes, and a reduced capacity to be alone and self-directed by pre-adolescence. Research on children aged 1 to 6 found that high screen exposure was associated with poorer development of fine motor, language, and social skills because excessive screen time displaces the hands-on, exploratory, interactive experiences through which those skills are actually built. That phrase is the key. Screens do not just occupy a child, they displace. Every hour spent consuming entertainment is an hour not spent creating, building, manipulating objects, solving real problems with real hands. So the rule is not simply less screen time. The rule is more hands. Bring your child into the kitchen. Let them help cook, wash, organize, build, fix, assist. Children who learn to create with their hands consistently develop more responsibility, more capability, and more genuine confidence than children who primarily sit and consume. The truth underneath the comfortable belief: the screen is not keeping them happy. It is keeping them from the very experiences that build a capable human being. A child who creates becomes responsible. A child who only consumes becomes dependent on being entertained. The fifth comfortable belief: they'll figure out what they're good at eventually. Eventually is doing a lot of work in that sentence. The belief is that talent will emerge on its own. That if a child is meant to be good at something, it will reveal itself in time, without much intervention. So we wait. We let them find their way. But here is what the research on skill development and confidence actually shows. Children do not discover their talents by waiting. They discover them by trying many things. Drawing, fixing, music, sports, reading, building, public speaking, cooking. Every new skill a child is exposed to is a door. And you cannot know which door opens into something they will love and excel at until they have walked through enough of them to find out. The child exposed to many skills early does not just accumulate abilities. They accumulate something more valuable: the experience of being a beginner, struggling, improving, and getting good at something through effort. That experience, repeated across many domains, builds a deep, transferable confidence, the belief that I can learn things, that difficulty is temporary, that I am capable of becoming good at something I am currently bad at. That belief is the engine of a hardworking, capable adult. And it is built by exposure, by trying, by the accumulation of many small encounters with new and difficult things. The truth underneath the comfortable belief: talent rarely reveals itself to a child who is waiting. It reveals itself to a child who is trying. The more useful things they attempt early, the more confident and capable they become later. The thread through all five: wake with rhythm. Clean your own mess. Finish what you start. Create with your hands. Try many things. Notice what every one of these has in common. Each one asks something of the child. Each one trades a little short-term comfort for a little long-term capability. And each one runs directly against the quiet current of modern parenting, which increasingly optimizes for the child's immediate happiness over the child's eventual strength. The research backs this up in a way that is hard to ignore. The Harvard Grant Study, one of the longest-running studies of human development ever conducted, tracking lives across more than 8 decades, found that children who were given regular responsibilities early developed stronger work habits, higher self-esteem, and greater long-term happiness as adults. The responsibility came first. The capability and the happiness followed. This is the part that matters. Raising a capable child and raising a happy child are not opposites. The capability is what produces the durable happiness. The child who learns to work, to contribute, to finish, to create, to try, that child becomes an adult who can build a life. And building a life is where the deepest happiness comes from. You are not choosing between loving your child and challenging your child. The challenge is the love, expressed honestly, aimed at who they will become. There is an old piece of wisdom that gets to the heart of all of this. Raise your children with love, but do not raise them to become helpless adults. That is not harsh. That is the most far-sighted kind of care there is. The parent who does everything for their child loves them comfortably. The parent who teaches their child to do things for themselves loves them with the future in mind. None of this requires being strict, cold, or demanding. It requires something quieter and harder. The willingness to let your child struggle a little today so they do not have to struggle helplessly tomorrow, to trade the easy moment for the strong adult. To remember in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday that the small habits you are building right now are becoming the character your child will carry for the rest of their life. The habits children learn today become the character they carry tomorrow. Build them well. If this video said something you needed to hear or something you wish more parents understood, share it with someone raising a little one. Leave a comment telling me which of these 5 comfortable beliefs you have caught yourself living by. We have all done it. That is not the point. The point is what we do next. Until next time, love them enough to let them work. Because the strongest gift you can give a child is the belief that they are capable, and capability is built, not given.